A new year is a great time to make sure your health is in tip-top shape, and that includes your ears and your hearing. Dr. Rebecca Brashears from Ascent Audiology and Hearing is here to help us out with this and get you ready for all your appointments. So great to see you.
Good to see you.
Yes, so how often should we be getting our hearing checked?
So when it comes to children, they should have their hearing screened every few years in school. But for adults, you know, even if you're a younger adult, it's a good idea to have your hearing at least screened every 10 years or so. Then when you reach age 50, get a baseline hearing test, so a full test so you know where you're at. And if you end up having a hearing loss at that time, you can address it, talk to someone. But if you have normal hearing, every 3 years or so would be fine, because aging, you know, sometimes can mean hearing loss, not all the time. So we can kind of follow along. You know, a lot of people have like annual checkups for, you know, vision or that go to the dentist. They forget about how important hearing is too.
That's true. We're really good about our 6-month checkups with the dentist, but we often forget the other ones that we need to do. What are some of the first signs that maybe we have a hearing issue?
Yes, so if you start to feel like people are mumbling a little bit, you're not quite understanding as well as you used to, whether it's in person, over the telephone, if you start to listen to the television at a louder level and your family's kind of getting on you about that, that's a huge one. Any kind of sounds in your ears when it's a quiet room, so it can be like ringing, buzzing, and that's called tinnitus, which we've talked about before. Those are some of the main ones, you know, you might first notice. And what happens is that becomes frustrating for you in different environments as well as your family. And so don't ignore the symptoms.
Yeah, talk about that. What happens if we do not get these checked and not treated? What can be the, I guess, worst case scenario?
So with untreated hearing loss, that can affect your overall health. So it can include cognitive decline, depression, your safety and balance. And so you know, with that untreated hearing loss over the years, you might start to withdraw from situations. Even if you're attending those family functions and you're sitting there, you may start to withdraw because you're not following what's going on. You're misunderstanding, and that can even lead to that depression I just mentioned.
You can become just, as you said, the depression, just very irritable too. Not part of what's going on.
Exactly, and it's not a fun thing to have to go through.
And one thing I was thinking of, think about this past week, all the snow. A lot of us were canceling regular appointments and checkups. It's probably important to make sure you've rescheduled them too.
Oh yeah, you know, and that happens in my office as well, because people don't want to get out in that cold or it's snowy and it looks a little dangerous. It is important to always reschedule because those follow-ups are there for a reason.
Definitely there. Okay, so also talk about, how does untreated hearing loss affect memory and comprehension?
Yes, and so our brain and ears work together. So when that speech sound comes in, your brain's working really hard to interpret what's being said. Well, when it comes to hearing loss, that sound can become degraded, and so you miss out on different sounds. And this is an example of an eye chart, and where some of it's fuzzy, but some of it's clear. It's the same thing with hearing loss. You might be able to understand, you know, certain letters, but you miss other letters, and then you're not following the conversation anymore. And so those comprehension issues come about. Say you're age 50 or older and you have an untreated hearing loss, you're 40% more likely to experience cognitive decline than, say, that person over there that's the same age with normal hearing. And so a lot of statistics out there that are a little scary sometimes to read.
So it sounds like, bottom line, don't put it off thinking, oh, I don't need my ear, you know, everything checked.
It's very important.
Remind everybody where you're located in case someone thinks, okay, I do need to get in and get my hearing checked.
I'm at 906 6th Avenue here in Huntington, and just giving me a call at 304-948-5565, and I'd be glad to talk to you.
Great information. Dr. Brashears, thanks so much for stopping by.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right, let's take a look out.